Nature's beauty conceals its deadliest secrets. Throughout history, apex predators have reminded humanity of our place in the food chain through encounters that defy our worst nightmares. These aren't mythical monsters, they're real animals whose attacks have been meticulously documented, studied, and feared for generations. From the African savanna to the depths of tropical oceans, we're about to explore the most terrifying predator encounters ever recorded. But here's what makes this different. We're not just telling horror stories. We're preparing you to survive. Because understanding these killers isn't just fascinating. It could save your life. Kenya, 1898. The Uganda railway construction became a living nightmare when two lions developed an unnatural craving for human flesh. These weren't ordinary predators. They were calculated killers who hunted with military precision. For 9 months, they terrorized over 3,000 railway workers, claiming between 35 to 135 lives. Workers called them the Ghost and the Darkness because they struck without warning, dragging screaming victims from their tents into the African night. What made these lions truly terrifying? They showed zero fear of humans, fire, or weapons. Meet the deadliest single animal in recorded history. The Champawat Tigress holds the Guinness World Record with 436 confirmed human kills between 1907 and 1911. This Bengal tigress didn't just hunt humans, she specialized in it. Her killing pattern was methodical and terrifying. She stalked entire villages, struck in broad daylight, and vanished like smoke into the dense forests. When Nepal mobilized their military against her, she simply crossed the border into India and continued her rampage. Entire communities abandoned their homes. Markets closed permanently. Fear paralyzed two nations until legendary hunter Jim Corbett finally ended her 4-year reign of terror. Summer 1916. The American dream vacation became America's worst nightmare when a rogue great white shark terrorized the New Jersey coastline. In 12 days, this oceanic predator fundamentally changed how humanity viewed the sea. 4 people died, 1 was critically injured, and millions learned to fear the water. The shark's boldness was unprecedented. It attacked in popular swimming areas, struck in broad daylight, and even traveled 11 miles inland up Matawan Creek to hunt in freshwater. Young Charles Van Sant was swimming near his hotel when the shark struck. 11-year-old Lester Stillwell was playing in the creek when he was dragged underwater, screaming for help that never came. February 1945. World War II witnessed the most horrific mass animal attack in military history. British forces pushed nearly 1,000 retreating Japanese soldiers into the mangrove swamps of Ramri Island, Myanmar. They had unknowingly driven them into a hunting ground ruled for millions of years by massive saltwater crocodiles, some exceeding 20 feet in length. Throughout that nightmare-filled night, the swamps echoed with gunfire, screams, and the thrashing of water as these prehistoric predators methodically hunted the stranded soldiers. When dawn broke, only 20 men emerged alive from those blood-soaked waters. The Guinness Book of Records lists this as the greatest disaster suffered by humans from animals. December 1915, the remote village of Sankabetsu, Japan, experienced 7 days of pure terror when an 880-pound Ussuri brown bear named Kesagake developed a taste for human flesh. This wasn't random animal behavior. This was calculated hunting. The bear first invaded the Oda family home, killing a pregnant woman and severely mauling others. When villagers organized hunting parties, Kesagake seemed to mock them, returning repeatedly to claim more victims. The bear's intelligence was supernatural. It would break into specific homes, hunt targeted individuals, and evade capture with cunning that defied explanation. 7 people died, 3 were critically injured, and an entire community lived in absolute terror until an experienced hunter finally ended the rampage. They're called killer whales, but wild orcas have never killed a human in their natural habitat. Captivity, however, tells a different story. Tilikum, a 12,000-pound male orca, killed 3 people during his 33-year imprisonment at SeaWorld. These weren't accidents. They were calculated, prolonged attacks captured on video. Trainer Dawn Brancho's death in 2010 shocked the world when Tilikum grabbed her ponytail during a show and held her underwater until she drowned. The psychological trauma of captivity had transformed these magnificent creatures into unpredictable killers. Kasatka, another captive orca, nearly drowned trainer Ken Peters in 2006, repeatedly pulling him underwater in what witnesses described as deliberate drowning attempts. In Australia's tropical waters lurks a nearly invisible killer whose venom can stop a human heart in under 5 minutes. The box jellyfish is nature's perfect assassin, translucent, silent, and armed with tentacles containing millions of venom-filled darts. Each tentacle can extend 10 feet and deliver a toxin cocktail so powerful that victims often die before reaching shore. The pain is described as molten metal being poured over your skin, followed by cardiac arrest and paralysis. Since scientific documentation began in 1884, box jellyfish have claimed over 100 lives in Australian waters alone. What makes them truly terrifying? Unlike other jellyfish that drift passively, box jellies actively hunt, swimming at speeds up to 4 miles per hour while pursuing their prey. Your life depends on knowing how to fight back. Against big cats, lions, tigers, leopards, make yourself appear larger by raising your arms or jacket above your head. Maintain eye contact without aggressive staring, back away slowly while speaking firmly, and never run, which triggers their chase instinct. If attacked, fight with everything you have, targeting their eyes and nose while protecting your neck. For bears, strategy depends on species. Black bears respond to noise and size intimidation, but if they attack, fight back aggressively. With grizzlies, play dead only during defensive attacks, lying face down with hands protecting your neck. Against crocodiles, attack their eyes and throat palatal valve. Never try to pry open their jaws. Instead, strike sensitive spots until they release you. These stories aren't meant to create fear. They're meant to build respect and preparedness. Every deadly encounter teaches us about animal behavior, human vulnerability, and the delicate balance between our species and the wild world. Modern survival depends on 3 principles: respect these animals' incredible power, understand their behavioral patterns, and prepare for encounters we hope never to face. Carry bear spray in bear country, wear protective clothing in jellyfish habitats, and always travel with experienced guides in dangerous wildlife areas. Remember, these animals aren't evil. They're following millions of years of evolutionary programming. Your survival depends on respecting that power, learning their weaknesses, and having the knowledge to fight back when your life is on the line.